In 2010, selective catalytic reduction systems changed the game for diesel vehicles. Not only does SCR drastically slash emissions, it also allows manufacturers to develop more efficient engines. But over time, SCR systems can become hampered by harmful deposit buildup. These deposits cause extra back pressure, robbing you of fuel economy, torque, and performance. You know, the reasons you bought a diesel truck in the first place. People have tried for years to mitigate deposit buildup, but nobody was able to crack the code. Until now. Introducing BlueDEF Platinum, a new revolution in DEF technology from America's #1 brand. Platinum features advanced system shield technology, a formula that significantly reduces harmful deposits from forming to keep your vehicle operating at peak performance. Platinum is formulated to exacting international standards and backed by our purity guarantee, ensuring that only high-quality DEF will go in your truck. So, if you want to maintain optimum fuel economy, save money on costly repairs, and sustain the life of your SCR system mile after mile, put trust in your truck with BlueDEF Platinum. BlueDEF Platinum. The best just got better.
Welcome to our Fluid Thinking Live event. My name is Stephanie Bourne. I'm the Channel Marketing Manager here at Old World Industries, and I am so excited about today's event. We are actually sitting in our corporate headquarters today, social distance, and we are so excited to talk about the launch of our new product, BlueDEF Platinum. And joining me today is our President and CEO, Mr. Charles Culverhouse, and our Chief Technical Officer, Mr. John Turney. Hey, welcome, guys.
Well, thanks for having us.
Oh, we appreciate it. Yeah, we're sitting in our beautiful corporate headquarters. It's very quiet, but we are social distance so that we can bring this education, to our audience today. So before we jump right in, I just have a couple of housekeeping tips for our audience today. So for those of you who are watching live, thank you so much. But we will be sending out the replay at the end of this event, so feel free to share it with those that couldn't join us today. And then also, if you saw on the registration page, we have our latest data specification sheet, so feel free to download that. And then lastly, if you haven't done so already, we are going to be doing a live Q&A, so feel free to drop your questions on the registration page, because if your question gets answered live at the end of our Q&A, you will be receiving this Peak Bluetooth speaker. Yes, it's a mouthful. Our Peak Bluetooth speaker, just as a thank you for saying we appreciate your participation. So with that said, are you guys ready to get started?
We're ready.
All right, let's get into this. I know that our audience is excited to see that. This is our largest Fluid Thinking Live event audience that we've had since we started that.
Outstanding.
So, kudos to you guys, so we really appreciate that. So before we jump right into BlueDEF Platinum, I'd like to kind of take a little bit of a step back and to about 10 years ago or so, when the federal government required manufacturers to reduce the amount of NOx emissions by diesel vehicles. And I know, Charles, you have been a part of this journey pretty much from the beginning. So can you share with our audience, especially those that are new to the industry, what did OWI and the industry do to prepare for this requirement?
So yeah, in 2010 is when the EPA mandate came out to reduce NOx emissions. And several years prior, a lot of companies were beginning to evaluate what's this market going to look like, what's it going to take to service this market, keeping in mind that most people couldn't spell DEF at that time in North America. And so it was a new product, something that had never been used in this marketplace before. And so as a company, we started looking at our distribution. We started looking at our customer base to understand, okay, is this a good product for us to really focus on and look at being a market leader from the get-go. And so after a lot of analysis and back and forth with our executive team, we made a decision to get into the DEF market. And if you think about it, I mean, you had to develop all that infrastructure.
Right.
Even though we had distribution partners and had been supplying antifreeze and lubricants and other functional fluids to the personal vehicle market or automotive and the heavy duty markets, you had to have new equipment, equipment that was dedicated to DEF to step into this marketplace. And so as an organization, we began really vetting out everything that was going to take to get into it. So that's everything from production facilities, equipment that's compatible to make this product. And it's one thing to make it and produce it to the standard, It's another thing to keep it on spec and deliver it to that consumer's tank on spec. And so everything that touches the product. We had to put new rail cars into our fleet that were dedicated for DEF. The trucks that we haul this product with are dedicated to DEF. So it's not something we can commingle those assets with other products that we ship around the country. It had to be something that we completely dedicated and that would maintain that quality. So a lot of upfront work, and then get the buy-in from our partners, our retail partners, as well as our commercial distribution partners, and they came on board, and it has been just an unbelievable market to watch evolve.
Wow, it has been an explosion, that is absolutely for sure. So I appreciate that because I know our audience, some of them are new to the industry, and to hear a little bit of that backstory is always good. So John, I know that there have been competing technologies along the way as well, and why exactly has DEF, especially SCR systems, become that preferred method to meet those requirements?
Well, in comparison to other technologies that were out there, SCR after-treatment systems have become the most efficient technology in reducing NOx emissions to meet the EPA standards. In addition, the use of the SCR system allows for engine manufacturers to fine-tune the engine for improved efficiency and power. Okay. In addition, the use of DEF in combination with a catalyst is allowing newer vehicles to meet the near-zero emissions requirements, and as we go into more stringent EPA restrictions going forward, we believe that that technology will continue to develop and be refined such that engine manufacturers are able to continue to achieve such requirements in the industry.
Perfect, perfect. Well, I appreciate that explanation. So I know we do have, because this is an education, we want to share with people that not only learn on all different methods. So I know you brought a little video about sort of a little animation of the way SCR and DEF is used together. So would you mind sharing that with our audience?
Sure. So in its basic form, SCR systems are composed of a catalyst, a DEF storage tank, an injector system, NOx sensors, and a DEF dosing control system. The system injects diesel exhaust fluid into the exhaust ahead of the catalyst, where the heat of the exhaust gases decompose the DEF into ammonia and CO2. This mixture then reacts with the catalyst to reduce NOx into harmless nitrogen and water.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you so much for that explanation. So Charles, as we look at the market over the last 10 years, how has DEF impacted the emissions and the NOx requirements that were required starting 10 years ago?
Yeah, it's interesting. If you look at SCR technology, that platform was developed back in the 1930s.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a technology that's been around for stationary applications. Okay. And then we introduced it here in North America in 2010, Europe a little bit ahead of us. But it's a proven technology. It's capable of reducing NOx by up to 90% in these SCR units, as well as reducing particulate matter. And both those things are what the EPA was really trying to focus on when they put these mandates in place.
Wow, that's an incredible number, 90%. Wow, thank you for that. So let's talk a little bit about BlueDEF Platinum. So we're going to fast forward. So we have a little backdrop, a little education for our audience today, especially those that are new to us. And then also, let's talk about the creation of this product. So John, I know that you were very instrumental in creating this new product. So can you share a little bit about what led to the creation of this particular BlueDEF Platinum product?
So since the inception of SCR systems, there have been issues with deposit buildup due to inefficient urea decomposition. This typically occurs in applications that experience low load and or have frequent stops during operation. So the industry has been working for more than 5 years. There have been the formation of many consortiums to address, from a component standpoint, these issues, as well as looking at alternative solutions or liquids that could be used in the system to mitigate the formation of such deposits. OEMs have invested quite a bit of money as well into some of these consortiums, primarily looking at hardware solutions and or designing theoretical models to evaluate how and what drives the formation of such deposits. So What we've done is we've had some customer feedback about 2 to 3 years ago, in which we've actually had a fleet of customers using standard diesel exhaust fluid, and they had experienced deposit buildup in the SCR system at the mixer.
So this is an actual deposit that you're
Correct.
showing the audience right now? Okay.
Correct. This is actually coming out of a customer who had a long haul fleet that had about 30 vehicles that were experiencing deposit buildup in the SCR system. And that customer reached out to us and asked if we could provide some assistance. So what we did was we started to evaluate the deposit chemistry, and then we evaluated the research that was out in the market in terms of the research that was done into mechanical options, and then we determined that in reality, because this is a inefficiency in the standard DEF, we came up with an additive package that was designed to improve the decomposition reaction and make it more efficient in the SCR system, especially in low load applications where the DEF may be injected into the system that may not be at optimum after treatment temperatures. So anything less than 250 degrees C in application is where you would see the majority of deposit formations occurring. So that would include applications with frequent stops, mid-range applications, construction equipment, pretty much anything where you're not achieving peak load.
Oh, wow. Our audience really appreciates that explanation. So from my understanding, 10 years ago, this industry started. 5 years ago, they started seeing some issues. So then OWI started doing some research over the last 2 to 3 years. And then here we are today with the solution for those particular problems.
Exactly.
Wow, I like being a part of Old World Industries, let me tell you. So, wow, that's just an incredible story. So thank you for that explanation. So so Charles, with this new product, how does a customer know when to use BlueDEF Platinum or when to switch up to, BlueDEF or to switch up to BlueDEF Platinum? How do they know when that should happen?
So if you've got an older SCR system and you haven't experienced any of the, let's say a derate in horsepower or fuel efficiency loss, if you've not seen that, then your traditional diesel exhaust fluid should be fine. Okay. But if you have, then definitely trading up to Platinum is what you want to do, because that's going to help to mitigate any future deposits that you will see or prevent any future deposits. And I'd say with a new SCR system, you definitely want to start with Platinum.
Right. So this doesn't clean the system, this just prevents
Exactly.
future deposits.
Exactly.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. That's a perfect explanation. So John, from a technical standpoint, before we even launched this, what kind of testing or test results did you see? Because I know our audience is probably just itching to know what exactly came up with regards to the testing and all the results.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've completed a significant amount of testing on this technology prior to launch. So we've generated a significant amount of test cell work, as well as started our own fleet test and our own logistics fleet, and are evaluating the technology in the fleet as well. So we're continuing to generate data, but the amount of data that we have generated will be provided in a white paper that can be provided to our customers if they have interest to read that. So we will continue to develop the technology as we move forward, but we have been spending a significant amount of funds in R&D for the past 2 years in development of this technology.
Fantastic. Well, when I get that white paper, you guys are going to get that white paper. That's awesome. So thank you so much. All right, so before we jump into our Q&A, because I know we have a lot of live watchers here, and again, if your question is answered live, you're going to receive this Peak Bluetooth speaker, so definitely listen in for your questions. So before we jump in, is there any other kind of last remarks that you guys would like to share with our audience?
You know, we're really excited about this new product. It's actually hitting the shelves this month, so we are already on the shelf at many of the major retailers, as well as with a number of our commercial customers that are out there. So it's new innovation, new technology, and we're looking forward to seeing how it's received by the marketplace.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much for that. So we're going to jump right into our Q&A, and remember, you guys are on the hook to answer these, all right? So stand by. Let's see who our lucky winners are going to be. All right, so our first question comes to us from Dean, and he's based out of Tennessee. And the question is, why should I use this versus regular BlueDEF, and what is the shelf life, and is it longer than BlueDEF? Who would like to answer that?
Sure, I'll take a shot at it. So if customers are using an application where they see a loss in power, frequent passive regenerations have to occur and or even forced regenerations have to occur, then I would recommend considering the use of this product. The product is designed to improve the decomposition of the urea in the system, thereby preventing deposits from forming. And if you're having issues with, say, loss in NOx efficiencies, that could be attributed to deposit formation in the SCR, and many customers may not even realize that's the case. So I would recommend using this in any application at which they feel that there's a loss in efficiency.
Okay, fantastic. So what is the shelf life of this product?
This product is designed to have the same shelf life as our standard BlueDEF product. So if stored properly between 12 degrees and 86 degrees Fahrenheit, the shelf life should be around 2 years.
Okay.
The product should be stored in an unopened container.
Okay, fantastic. So speaking of shelf life, there's actually another question that came in. The gentleman's name is John from Kansas. So since we were talking about product life, he's specifically asking about outside storage. So what is the product life with outside storage unopened?
Well, depending on the ambient conditions, again, the most optimum storage condition is going to be between 12 degrees and 86 degrees Fahrenheit in order to optimize the shelf life. The container should be unopened if you want to achieve that optimum shelf life. However, if the container is open, then you will have some loss of ammonia as well as water evaporation that could occur, and therefore that will cause the product to have a reduced shelf life. So again, I would recommend storing it per the recommendations we have, and the container should be unopened, especially if stored outside.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you, Dean and John, for your question. So our next question comes to us from Jake, and he is based out of Wisconsin. That's where we're based out of. His question is, am I able to mix standard BlueDEF with BlueDEF Platinum? Who would like to answer that question?
I'll take it. You can, but that's not what we're recommending. I mean, the reality is we're introducing a new innovation, and you want that fully concentrated if you're going to truly receive 100% of the benefit that product is capable of bringing. And so if you do mix it together, you're not going to see any damage to the SCR system or anything like that. You just won't get the full benefit of BlueDEF Platinum.
So if a customer has a tote that is, almost empty and they fill up with BlueDEF Platinum, that's not going to cause an issue?
Not at all.
Okay, perfect. So thank you, Jake, for your question. Our next question comes to us from Russ, and he is out of Arizona. Will this new product have any effect on the existing deposits that might be inside an SCR system? Who would like to answer that?
Sure, I'll take that one. So the technology is designed to work preventatively by optimizing the decomposition of urea in the system. So if the system already has deposits, the product is not designed or intended to remove those deposits. However, the system itself has mechanisms for removing deposits, and those mechanisms are regeneration cycles. So you've got a passive regen that typically occurs during normal operation. The application is still operational under those conditions. And then you've got a forced regen, which will occur when you have a loss of NOx efficiency or reduction in efficiency. So that is mission disabling and requires the operator to stop the vehicle and then put it into a forced regen state. So
again, it doesn't clean it if you've got deposits in there, but it will prevent additional deposits in the future.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. So Floyd, thank you so much for Russ, for your question. And I actually was looking at the name Floyd that came up, so I'm just going to go right for it. So Floyd, based out of Michigan, and his question is, will Peak continue to market both DEF products as better, best, and will it be clear to the consumer why the Platinum is better on the package? Who'd like to take that one?
I'll take it. Yes, we will continue to market BlueDEF as well as BlueDEF Platinum. Definitely on the package. We're going to call out the features and benefits of Platinum and this new innovative technology that we're bringing to the marketplace.
Yeah, we've got a ton of packaging all around us to show us. Okay, perfect. Excellent. Thank you, Floyd, for your question. And then the last question, drum roll please. It comes to us from Tennessee, and it is Morgan. And her question is, how can customers easily and safely transition from BlueDEF to BlueDEF Platinum? Who'd like to take that last one?
Sure, I can take that one if you like. So the technology is designed to be completely compatible with standard DEF, and therefore, if the in the application, it would be best if the operator would run the tank down and then simply start refilling with BlueDEF Platinum.
Okay.
So, however, if they decide to top off over, you know, a certain volume in the tank, again, it's not going to cause any issues.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, that is what we have for our Q&A today, guys. And so for those of you watching, if you're looking for additional information, please feel free to visit BlueDEFPlatinum.com, and we will be sending out the replay later today. And or you can reach out to your peak sales representative for even more information. So with that said, thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate all your information. And to our audience watching, see you next time.
Thank you.
you.